Greetings gamers, Agent SN, and today I'm talking about the Wii. Yes, the Wii is a console that has a very, very special place in my heart, as the Wii was actually, it was technically my first game console. I mean, growing up I had multiple game consoles, because my dad owned so many, but the Wii was my go-to console back then, the first console I think I played, or either that or the DS, but the DS and Wii both held a big part in my childhood. The Wii was basically my childhood system. I mean, I had an Xbox 360, and a PC, and a DS and stuff too, but the Wii was what I was all about for about 10 years of my life. The first 10 years of my life were about the Wii, and it was that way basically until I got a Wii U in the middle of 2015. Anyway, though, the Wii is a console that I absolutely love to death. I mean, it's not my favorite console of all time, but it's a console that holds up today, and it has had a huge impact on the gaming community and non-gamers too, and it has been a big revolution ever since its release on November 19th of 2006. And the console is now 15 years old. Let's take a look back at its legacy. Alright, so the Revolution, which was the codename for the Wii, was first announced at E3 of 2004. Or 2005, I can't remember which one. But they announced Nintendo Revolution, and it was announced, and yeah. The Revolution was gonna be, it's called Revolution because it was gonna be a revolution. The Wii is a console that Nintendo was trying to market towards the casual audience. It tried to appeal to both kids and teenagers and adults, basically both kids and adults of all ages, of course, and both kids and adults of all ages. It tried to people to all ages, and it tried to appeal to basically anyone, whether they're gamers or not, basically. I'm about to get to that in a minute, but yeah, Revolution was first announced under that name because it was a revolution. That's what it was always planned to be, and yeah. Alright, so the Wii came out on November 19th, 2006 in North America for $250. And yeah, $250. That's actually pretty cheap for a console that was new at the time. And that's because, unlike the Xbox 360 and the PS3, the Wii was not HD, and it was only a standard definition console because Nintendo just wanted it to be cheap because they were trying to try to appeal to people who were trying to appeal to both people who play video games and people who don't, and the casual audience may not be able to afford a $500 console or something, as at the time the Xbox 360 launched. Well, the Pro version that everyone was buying for the 360, it launched as a $400 console, and there was the Xbox 360 Core for $300, but no one wanted to buy that. And for the PlayStation 3, that on the other hand, the PlayStation 3, one reason why the PS3 had a very slow start was because the PlayStation 3, it was 60 gigabytes for the 600. Well, there was a $600 version that had 60 gigabytes, and there was a 20 gigabyte version for $500, but everyone wanted a $600 version. Now, for the Wii, Nintendo just wanted to keep it simple and make one version for $250 as a good option. And the console released like that, basically. So, yeah. But now let's get into the features and the controller, basically. Let's get into the controllers now. Alright, now let's get into the controllers. Now, for the Wii, it had a big gimmick, and that was motion controls. The Wii was a console that basically was all about the motion controls. It focused heavily on shaking the Wii remote and pointing at a screen. The Wii came with a sensor bar that you would hook up to your TV and point it there. And how do you do that? Well, you do it with the Wii remote. The Wii remote is a controller that is used either vertically or horizontally depending on the game, and it has. It looks like the way you see it there, and you use it to point and shake the controller in various games and stuff. Or for some games, mostly 2D games, like Super Mario Bros., Donkey Kong Country Returns, or or Punch-Out with the Wii Remote horizontally, or Super Paper Mario, or Kirby's Epic Yarn and Kirby's Return to Dreamland. Those games would mostly involve the controller horizontally, and you would use it kind of like an old NES controller, and games would even use it for shaking and tilting, as a lot of games focused on that, especially. Now there's also another part of the Wii Remote that is heavily used, and we'll get to that in just a minute. Alright, so the Wii had another part of the controller called the Nunchuck. You would plug this in at the bottom of the Wii Remote, and you would use it basically for a lot of 3D games. Basically, would use it basically, and the Nunchuck offered basically a control stick and 2 extra buttons to expand the experience, and it is required for many Wii games, basically. So yeah, many games required it, and you use the Nunchuck as a control stick, basically. So yeah. Alright, so next up we're talking about another controller for the Wii, and that is the Classic Controller. Now the Classic Controller, it's called the Classic Controller because it's mainly used basically for virtual console games, but it was also used on some Wii games too. And the Classic Controller, well, it's basically a controller that lets you play Wii games without motion controls, basically. And many games like Monster Hunter Tri, Xenoblade Chronicles, Pandora's Tower, The Last Story, Mario Kart Wii, Super Smash Bros. Brawl, Sonic Colors, and Sonic, what was it called? Oh yeah, Sonic Unleashed. A lot of those games would involve this Classic Controller. Now the controller has 2 versions. Originally, there was just the one that you see at the top, and that's the one that looks like an SNES controller, and there's the one at the bottom that you see called the Classic Controller Pro. And the Classic Controller Pro, it's more shaped like a GameCube controller, and it has better grip, and the control and the buttons at the top are replaced and are placed in a new area, basically. And the Classic Controller Pro is like a much better version, basically. So yeah, the Classic Controller is pretty cool, and yeah. Alright, so the next controller we're talking about is not a Wii controller necessarily, but it's the GameCube controller. And I'm not going to talk about the GameCube controller in depth, because I already made a video about the GameCube 2 months ago for its 20th anniversary bang with the GameCube controller. Now here's the thing. The Wii also had, backwards compatibility with GameCube games. As long as you had a memory card to save your games and a GameCube controller, you got to play GameCube games through your Wii. And the GameCube controller was also used for virtual console games and some games like Sonic Colors and Sonic not Sonic Generations, Sonic Unleashed and Mario Kart Wii and Smash Bros. Brawl. Yeah, some games used the GameCube controller, basically. And yeah, I guess that's all I need to say, considering that I already made a video about the GameCube 2 months ago for the 20th anniversary. So yeah, let's just move on. Alright, so this next controller we're talking about, well actually it's not really a controller, but it's an add-on for a controller, and that is the Wii Wheel. Now the Wii Wheel, so what it basically is it's an accessory that you would use for putting your Wii Remote in the wheel. It basically be used on racing games like Mario Kart Wii and Excitebot Trick Racing and Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing. Yeah, those games would use the Wii Wheel, basically, to, they weren't required for racing games, but they were an option, basically. And it's definitely the best way to play racing games on the Wii. Alright, let's move on to the next accessory. Alright, so the next controller was actually an accessory for the Wii Remote once again. But yeah, just like how there was a Wii Wheel accessory to emulate the car driving experience for racing games, there was also that, but for shooters. As there was a Wii Zapper accessory they would put the Wii Remote and the Nunchuck in, and you would use it to shoot around and emulate the experience of using a gun, basically. And now I never owned one myself because I don't really play a lot of shooter games that much. I play Fortnite, and I'm excited for Halo Infinite. Really excited, actually. That's besides the point. And back then, I didn't really play shooters back then because I was young. Because I was really young at the time of the Wii era. Anyway, though, the Wii... That's besides the point. Anyway, though, the Wii Zapper was an accessory that was mainly used for shooter games, and was used for a game that came with it, Link's Crossbow Training, which was bundled with Twilight Princess. Well, actually, no, it wasn't, but Link's Crossbow Training, it was a shooting, it was an archery spin-off of Twilight Princess, and I'll talk about that game just later in this video. Anyway, though, the Wii Zapper was an accessory that you use on shooters mainly, and that's what it basically was for. Alright, so the next accessory we're talking about is the Wii Balance Board. Now, the Wii Balance Board, it was mainly used on basically, a lot of exercise games like Wii Fit, which we'll talk about later in this video, use it, and a lot of games use it as like an option, like Mario and Sonic at the Winter Olympic Games. It would use it for some events, like snowboarding and skiing and stuff. And what else? Oh yeah, Punch Out on the Wii. That you can use it as an extra way to duck and dodge with the balance board. So what the balance board does is it calculates your weight and your balance on it, which is why it's called a balance board. I actually use this accessory a lot for Mario and Sonic, and for Mario and Sonic at the Winter Olympic Games, and I use it too for Wii Fit, because I played a lot of Wii Fit growing up, because the Wii was my thing back in the day, like I said. Alright, so the last accessory I want to get into is the Wii Motion Plus. Now this like I talked about earlier about how the main gimmick of the Wii was movement in the controller, basically in the motion. But you see, that motion wasn't entirely accurate because the motion controls were just about you pointing, you shaking the controller, or tilting it, or yeah, basically that. But in 2009, with the release of Wii Sports Resort, which we'll talk about later in this video, Nintendo released an add-on for the Wii Remote called the Wii Motion Plus. So the Wii Motion Plus, it was an add-on, of course, that you would insert at the bottom, and it would sense completely accurate movement. So, for example, in The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword, which I'll talk about later in this video, whenever you move your Wii Remote with the Motion Plus, Link would move it exactly the way you would, basically. Or in Wii Sports Resort, in the swordplay minigame, the same goes there, basically. The Wii Motion Plus was all about completely accurate movement. So, and it would have a sensor in the controller that would sense all your movements with the controller. Now, about a year or two later, Nintendo released another version that had it built into the Wii Remote. And they released a new version of the Wii Remote called the Wii Remote Plus, which is the one you see at the bottom. The one that says with Wii Motion Plus inside at the bottom. There's a special version of the Wii Remote that has the Wii Remote Plus inside of it, basically. And the Wii Motion Plus was used in games like Wii Sports Resort, Fling Smash, The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword, Wii Play Motion. Yeah, those games focused all about that Wii Motion Plus, basically, and they required it. And it was also used in Wii U games, like Nintendo Land. Some games would use the Wii Motion Plus, and and Mario & Sonic the Sochi 2014 Winter Olympic Games, I would use the Wii Motion Plus. But that's besides the point, since I won't do a video on the Wii U until next year for its 10th anniversary. But yeah, next year come back for the Wii U video. Let's move on to more about the console itself. Alright, so now let's talk about the console itself. So the Wii released, just like this, basically, the way you see it right here, and in case you're wondering, the Wii was actually a console. It was the first Nintendo console that had full-size discs. Because the GameCube had discs, however, there were small discs instead of DVDs because Nintendo didn't want piracy. And Nintendo went with their own format, but used big-size discs this time around. And the Wii also has an SD card slot, fun fact, where you could use that for stuff. So yeah. The Wii console looks like this, but now let's get into the features of the console. Let's get into the menu and how it looks. Alright, so now let's get into the Wii menu itself. So the Wii opens up with this menu you're about to see right here. Yes, this is what the Wii menu looks like. It looks like this, and you can click on stuff, you can, and it has a bunch of different channels, actually, with a bunch of different things, and there's various different channels I'll talk about soon, where you can click on games, and look at it, and stuff. It'll look like this. You can see the Wii menu and start, basically. And yeah, I had multiple different channels, and I'm about to talk about the channels next. I'll talk about the channels next. So yeah, let's move on with the channels. Alright, so the first major channel I want to talk about is the Me channel. Yes. So you see, on the Wii, it introduced an iconic feature called Miis. Yes, Miis are basically the characters that... they're basically these avatar characters they use on the Wii series of games and other games. And you make these little avatar characters that you would represent people, basically, on various things. You can make them, basically... It even introduced the iconic Me channel theme. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Yeah. And you can make characters, and you can even share them and stuff in the Check Me Out channel, basically. So yeah, let's go on to the next channel. Alright, next up is the Photo channel. The Photo channel is a channel where you can, so if you have an SD card in your Wii, you can actually, post videos from it to this, and basically, and some games would have these photos, and that you could post to the Photo channel, basically. And you could even modify the photos, which is really cool, not gonna lie. Alright, so next console is the Wii Shop channel. So the Wii Shop channel, it's basically... So it was a channel, basically, where you could download games, fun fact. As there is... Well, yeah, you can download games on it, and there's actually two different line of games. First, there's the WiiWare. Now, the WiiWare is a line of games, basically original games for the Wii. They're digital only, and you can't buy them anymore, unfortunately. And then, there is the Virtual Console, and the Virtual Console is where you can download old games from previous consoles, like the NES, SNES, N64, Sega Master System, Sega Genesis, Neo Geo, TurboGrafx 16. Yeah, those games were basically there on the console. And yeah, that's pretty cool, not gonna lie. Downloading some retro games and WiiWare games. So you got, there were some great WiiWare games they unfortunately cannot buy anymore without emulation, as this channel is actually no longer accessible, and the Wii channel, well, the Wii Shop channel shut down in January of 2019, so now you can't buy the games anymore and stuff. Unfortunately. Alright, that's all I want to talk about for the channels. I mean, there are more channels, but I'm not going to talk about them, mainly due to time constraints, and mainly because I don't want this video to be too long. But yeah, those are some cool channels that are featured on the Wii, and yeah. There's more of them too, especially. Some of them still work, some of them don't. There's even the homebrew channel where you can make hacks to your Wii, which is really nice. So yeah. There's even game-specific channels, like there's the Wii Fit channel, the Mario Kart channel, the Rabbids channel for Rabbids Go Home. So yeah, that's pretty cool. The Wii has some great controllers and accessories, great console, great features, and yeah. So we talked about the console and the features, and yeah, it's pretty cool. Now let's get into the games. Alright, so the first game we're gonna be talking about is Wii Sports. Now, Wii Sports was a game that was actually bundled in with the Wii's originally, and Wii Sports, it's actually one of the most popular video games of all time, and one of the most iconic, and one of the most revolutionary. So this is a game that was a little tech demo game for the Wii that would just, and the game would basically show you how to basically use the Wii, as it focused heavily on the Wii remote and stuff, and it would show you all about the motion controls of it. And this game was very iconic. Everyone had the game, whether they were gamers or not. If they had a Wii, then they 99% of the time had this game. And this is a sports game that basically a lot of people like, whether they're into sports or not. I mean, I don't really care for sports that much myself, besides golf, because I'm actually a golf coach, fun fact. That's besides the point. Anyway, though, Wii Sports is it's a pretty fun game that's all about 5 different sports. Yes, 5 different ones. There is tennis, there is baseball, bowling, there is golf, and there is boxing, which is pretty cool, not gonna lie. And they would each involve motion controls and you shaking or the remote and stuff. This game, like I said, it was all about teaching you how to basically use the Wii remote in fun ways. And this game formed the Wii series of games, and this game even had a sequel. So just like how Wii Sports was a launch title game for the Wii that would showcase basically how to use the Wii remote and how to shake it, well, Wii Sports Resort did that, but for the Wii Motion Plus. And Wii Sports Resort released in 2009. It was basically the first game, but way better. It was set in a big resort, and of way more sports, including the return of some of the sports from the first Wii Sports. And these games focus on the Wii Motion Plus as basically a showcase for the Wii Motion Plus, and yeah, it was basically that, and it would involve different sports that would involving hitting the Wii Motion Plus, which is pretty fun. This game was really good, and definitely the best Wii series game. And all its sports are really cool, and its island theme is really cool. Easily the best Wii series game. Now let's go on to the next Wii series game. Alright, so our Wii series game was Wii Play. Now, Wii Play, it's also a showcase for the Wii, but this time around, Wii Play focuses much more on the pointer. Just like how the Wii Sports focus on the movement of the controller and shaking it around, this game focused more on the pointer, and it showed it in a bunch of different minigames. Like there is the shooting range minigame, where you shoot targets, and it plays in Duck Hunt style, and there's this tanks minigame, and which is easily the best minigame in there. And there's also this billiards minigame, and there's a fishing one, and there's this cow riding one, and yeah, Wii Play is a really, really fun game. It doesn't have a lot of content, but that's because it's just a tech demo game for the Wii. That basically shows you how to use the Wii remote's pointer in a really fun way. And it's also a perfect game to play with a friend. easily, and it is so much fun with all the mini games it has. All 10, 11, 12 of the mini games are all really fun, and this game easily, it's not the best Wii game ever, but it's easily one of the most important ones with the way it was represented, as this game was even bundled with the Wii remote, so it became a massive success, and a lot of Wii owners have this game. And yeah, and this game released just 3 months after the Wii in North America. Alright, so 5 years later, well, or 4 years later, well, 4 years for North America, 5 years, well, for other countries, but yeah, about 4 to 5 years later, Wii Play got a sequel called Wii Play Motion. And Wii Play Motion, well, it's basically the Wii Sports Resort of Wii Play. Just like in the Wii Sports Resort got a sequel to focus on the Wii Motion Plus, Wii Play Motion got released as to focus on the Wii Motion Plus. Just like how Wii Play was bundled with the Wii remote, this game was bundled with this game was bundled with a black Wii Remote Plus, basically. Or I think it was white, can't remember, but yeah. And this focused on a bunch of different mini games where you would use the movement of the Wii Remote Plus. Now, I've actually never played this game before. Yes. Fun fact, I've actually never played this game before. I have played a Wii Sports, I played Wii Sports Resort, I've played Wii Play, but I've actually never played this game, but eventually I want to, and yeah. This game looks pretty fun. So yeah. Alright, Mario Master 101, here you go. Next up is Wii Play. Now Wii Play... Actually, no, not Wii Play, but Wii Party, yes. Wii Party. Wii Party is a game that... Well, Wii Party is basically... It's basically Mario Party, but for Mii's. And a Wii Party is actually a pretty fun game, and probably one of my favorites games of the Wii series. Wii Party is a lot of fun, and definitely one of the best multiplayer games on the Wii. And to be honest, I actually like this game more than some of the Mario Party games. Wii Party is actually a really fun party game, and definitely a good one. Don't know what else to say. Alright, so the next game we're talking about is a game that's basically a tech demo for the Wii Balance Board, and that is Wii Fit. Wii Fit is a very popular and big game that focuses, it's sold very well, and this game was basically used as a good way to exercise for a lot of people, and I actually played this game a lot back in the day. Wii Fit is a game that released in 2007 in Japan, I think, and 2008 for the rest of the world. It also got an enhanced version, Wii Fit Plus, in 2009. Yeah, Wii Fit Plus in 2009. There's also a sequel on the Wii U called Wii Fit U, but we're gonna save that one for next year, because since that's when I do my Wii U video for its 10th anniversary. Anyway, though, Wii Fit is an exercising game, and where you would go through exercising lessons and yoga lessons, basically, and it also had these really fun mini games that you would basically use to basically that would involve the balance on the board, and it was pretty fun, basically. And Wii Fit Plus added more of it, which is the enhanced version of Wii Fit. So yeah. Alright, so the last Wii series game that we're going to be talking about today is Wii Music. Now I've never played this game before. I've only seen videos on it. Like I've seen Scott the Waz's video on it. I've seen Nathaniel Bandage Triggered on it, which was a collab with Scott the Waz. Anyway, though, and I've seen other videos on this, but I've actually never played Wii Music before. Eventually I might. But yeah, Wii Music, it is a pretty polarizing game, but Wii Music is a game that focuses on basically playing music like the name says. it's basically a music simulator. Don't know what else to say because I never played it myself. Alright, so the next game we're talking about is Super Paper Mario. Yes, Super Paper Mario. Super Paper Mario. It's a game that it is a Paper Mario game that gets a bit of controversy. I mean, some people don't like how it was a change of pace for the series, but others love it, especially Game Domain, because it's Game Domain's favorite game of all time. And it's some people's favorite Paper Mario game. I personally think the first two games were the best Paper Mario games. But yes, Super Paper Mario is a really, really great game. It was also the last RPG Paper Mario, as Super Paper Mario was actually a cross-genre game. As Super Paper Mario, it's basically a mix of... It's basically a mix of action RPG and platforming, as this game went from a shift to being an action RPG. It's a side-scrolling action RPG while being a platformer at the same time. So yeah, it's a platformer and an action RPG at the same time, as it has basically platforming combat, but it's still an RPG even though it's an action RPG. And this game has a really amazing, and it also has the darkest story in the Mario universe. This game focuses on Mario, Peach, Bowser, and Luigi on their quest to restore the pure hearts in the world of Flipside, and they must stop the evil Count Black from using this black hole called the Void from destroying the universe, basically. And they must stop him. And this game actually has a pretty dark story. Count Black was actually the main villain of the game. Has an interesting backstory. Yes, this game has as one of the best stories told in the Mario universe. But yeah, both the gameplay and the story are really great in this game, even though the gameplay was a change of pace for the series, with it now being a platformer action RPG hybrid. But yeah, this game is really fun, and all four of the playable characters you get throughout the game each have their own unique abilities. Mario can flip into 3D, Peach can glide on her parasol, and Bowser is very powerful, and he can use fire attacks, and Luigi can use high jumps, which is really interesting. And it's nice to see Bowser be a good guy in this. And yeah, this game is very great and definitely a must-play Wii game. Alright, so next up we're talking about Metroid Prime 3 Corruption. Yeah. So while Metroid Prime and Metroid Prime 2 Echoes released on the GameCube, those games also got ported to the Wii with new controls in 2009, and they each had standalone versions in Japan, and here in the West they released this game and the first two Prime games on the GameCube with the Prime trilogy. Now, I'm not going to talk about Metroid Prime 1 and 2 because I already did that on the GameCube video, and those games originated on the GameCube and they were just ported to the Wii. But Metroid Prime... But Metroid Prime 3 Corruption was an original game for the Wii that came out in August of 2007. And it's honestly the second best out of the whole Prime trilogy. What do you think the first Prime game is the best one? Metroid Prime 3 Corruption is a really great game, but also added more motion to the experience and offered a really interesting story, and it had more focus too with Dark Samus and the Phazon. And in this game, Samus now has become corrupted and must use her power of Phazon to take down Dark Samus and destroy Dark Samus. And this game has you going through a bunch of different planets, which is really interesting. And now you get to look around in the ship, which is really nice. This game is by far the biggest out of the whole series, and I don't think it is the best game out of the whole trilogy. It's definitely a really great game, and definitely the biggest one, and definitely the best one gameplay wise. I think this was the best one gameplay wise. But I do think the first two games, actually, I think the first game was the best story wise. That's besides the point. But yeah, Metroid Prime Corruption added a lot of new, interesting story and gameplay mechanics that added to the experience, and a really interesting world. Alright, so while we had ports of Metroid Prime 1 and 2 that each had standalone versions in Japan and were released in a bundle with Prime 3, which was an original Metroid game on the Wii. There was also another Metroid game on the Wii that was another original game that released in 2010, and that is Metroid Other M. Now, I haven't played this game, so I can't say much about it, but I have seen videos on this game. This game is by far the most polarizing because a lot of people like the story, but a lot of people don't. Well, actually, no. A lot of people like the gameplay, but a lot of people hate the story. Now, I don't know what to say because I have yet to play this game, even though I will eventually. But Metroid Other M it was also a change of pace for, it was basically a change of pace for Metroid, as it is a bit of a different game, as it has a new narrative that focuses heavily on Samus's backstory. It explains a lot of the backstory of Samus based on what I've seen, but instead of the first-person gameplay of the Prime games, it's played in a third-person perspective. But I don't know what else to say because I never played this game. Alright, so the Wii had two Zelda games. The first one was a launch game that also came out on the GameCube, and that is The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. And I'm not going to go into much about the game itself because I already talked about it in the GameCube video, but Twilight Princess was a cross-gen game that came out for both the Wii and the GameCube. And a fun fact, not only were they played differently, not only was the GameCube version based on buttons controls and the Wii version had more focus on motion controls, but they were also mirrored. So because people would use the Wii remotes in their right hand, Link was right-handed on the Wii version and left-handed on the GameCube version. And not only that, but they were also completely mirrored because of that. They completely mirrored the game on each platform because of people using the Wii remote in their right hand and the Nunchuck on their left. So because of that, Nintendo decided to completely flip the whole game on the Wii, and yeah. But I'm not gonna say much else about the game itself because I never. Well, actually, no. I have played this game. Yes, I have played this game before. Yes, I have played it, but I talked about it already. And I talked about my thoughts on it in the GameCube video. I have played this game, but I talked about it on the GameCube video. So yeah. Alright, so Zelda's first game on the Wii was Twilight Princess, which came out in late 2006 as a launch game. But on the other hand, there was Skyward Sword, which released in November of 2011 as a game that would focus heavily on motion controls and the Wii Motion Plus. This game was motion control heavy, and this was the second Zelda game on the system that released a year before the Wii U. So yeah, Skyward Sword is a game that actually goes into a lot of backstory from the series, and it focuses basically on the origins of the Master Sword and the origins of Link, basically. This game is actually a prequel to the entire Zelda series. While not the best Zelda game by any means, it's definitely a pretty good one, and it got remastered this year on the Switch, which is definitely the version to go with, in my opinion. Especially if you have yet to play this game, get the HD version on the Switch. And yeah, but Skyward Sword, pretty good game, and the gameplay is pretty good despite the motion controls, and it has a really great story. I think this game has one of the best stories in the entire Legend of Zelda series. Let's move on to our next game. Oh yeah, so next up is a game that you guys know is very near and dear to my heart. Super Mario Galaxy. Yes, yeah. You guys already know my history with this game. This game is one of my favorite games of all time. I've played it so much on this channel. It has amazing music. It actually has my favorite piece of music of all time. And it's one of my favorite. It's one of my favorite games of all time. And this game is very special to me. It has amazing music. It has an amazing story with it, and it has some amazing gameplay features. And its new anti-gravity theme made it by far the best Mario game alongside its sequel. I love this game a ton. It is very special to me. This game means so much to me, and it had a huge impact on my life. In fact, if this game didn't exist, or if I had never played this game before, I wouldn't even be doing YouTube if it wasn't for this game. This is a game that I've beaten at least 4 times. I love it with all my heart. It's one of my favorite games of all time. Yeah. And let's talk about Galaxy 2. Alright, so a couple years later, Mario Galaxy 2 came out. Just like Mario Galaxy, you guys already know my history with this game. It has perfect atmosphere, just like the first game, and it has... And while Galaxy 1 had a better story, considering that the story is really similar in this game due to the ending of Galaxy 1, which I'm not going to spoil in case you haven't played the game, But I did make a video on both these games in March that's like almost an hour long. But anyway, though, Mario Galaxy 2, it's a really great game, and it's beyond that, actually. This game is a perfect 10 out of 10 game, just like the first game. Both games are highly regarded as 2 of the greatest video games of all time. It once again has a perfect soundtrack, perfect gameplay, good story, good everything. Yeah, perfect. Masterpiece. What else do I need to say? It's Mario Galaxy 2. And the level design is even better in this game than the first game, and has much better gameplay. This game is a must-play. If you own a Wii, or Wii U, but you do not have this game or never played before, play it. You will not regret it. It is a true masterpiece, and it's a shame that Nintendo left it out in 3D All-Stars. Play the game if you haven't already. Masterpiece. Just like the first game, both are must-play games. And they are just 2 great games. Alright, so next up is Super Smash Bros. Brawl. Super Smash Bros. Brawl is probably one of the most casual Smash Bros. Games, but it's honestly my second favorite in the entire series. And it's honestly one of the best in the whole series, and probably the best one besides Ultimate. Anyway, though, Smash Bros. Brawl is a really great game, and it's honestly a masterpiece. The stages are great, and it has a good Smash gameplay as usual. The reason why I consider it one of the best is because the Subspace Emissary. It has a really great story mode called the Subspace Emissary, and it's honestly better than World of Light, not gonna lie. Subspace Emissary is really awesome. And it's easily probably my favorite story mode in a fighting game. And this game, this was also the first Smash Bros. Game to have online, even though the online on the Wii does not work anymore. But Smash Bros. Brawl is a really fun game with a lot of great fighters. It was even the first to have non-Nintendo characters, as it introduced Sonic into Smash Bros. Yeah, Sonic the Hedgehog. Yeah, Sonic the Hedgehog came into Smash Bros. from the long-running Sonic the Hedgehog series. And this game also had Snake from the Metal Gear Solid series as two non-Nintendo reps as well. But this game also has some really great Nintendo characters too, and a great story with Subspace Emissary, and some amazing gameplay. Now let's get on to the next game. Alright, so next up is Mario Kart Wii. Mario Kart Wii is by far one of the most popular video games of all time, and one of the most iconic. While not my favorite Mario Kart ever, Mario Kart Wii is a pretty good game, and it's also the first one on a home console to have online play, and it also had had a pretty good character selection. And although yes, there are some clones, obviously, with you know, Baby Daisy and Funky Kong and stuff, it has a pretty good character selection and some really great tracks. And it also has some pretty memorable music and very iconic ones with the Coconut Mall theme, Toad's Factory. Yes, this game by far has one of the best OSTs in the entire Mario Kart series. And the gameplay is very good in this. And yeah, and this was even the first to have bikes, and it's also the first to have was the first to bring the driver limit on a track up to 12, and yeah. This game had a lot of interesting new gameplay features to it. And yeah. But yeah, next game is Punch-Out! Now I've actually never played this game before, so I don't know what else to say about it, but Punch-Out was a grand return of Punch-Out for the Wii, and it was developed by Next Level Games. And it's honestly a shame that we haven't gotten a new Punch-Out for the Switch, and I really hope we do, no matter how likely it is, and I'd love to see it. It's honestly a shame that we haven't gotten a Punch-Out game since this one, as Punch-Out deserves a new, well, what should have had a new installment every console, as Punch-Out on the NES and its sequel Super Punch-Out were both pretty good games. Let's move on to the next game. Alright, next up is New Super Mario Bros. Wii. New Super Mario Bros. Wii was the grand return of 2D Mario on a home console. And it's basically New Super Mario Bros. On the DS, but better. And it was also the first with 4-person multiplayer, which is really, really cool. And yeah. And this game was by far one of the most popular Mario. It was one of the most popular games on the system, and it was also one of the first Mario games I ever played. And it's probably the ones it's probably the Wii game I played the most growing up. I remember playing this game all the time as a kid, and had so many fond memories of it playing it with my dad. It was some fun times. Next up is one of the best platforming games on the Wii, and one of the best co-op games on the system, and that is Donkey Kong Country Returns. Yes, this game was a return to Donkey Kong Country, and it was developed by Retro Studios, the same developer as the Metroid Prime trilogy. Yes, and Donkey Kong Country Returns is a really, really amazing game, and a masterpiece, not gonna lie. And it even got a sequel on the Wii U and Switch with Tropical Freeze, which is even better. Anyway though, Donkey Kong Country Returns is a pretty good game with some amazing level design. It's a very hard game and you're gonna die a lot, but it is a really fun game, and Donkey Kong and Diddy are great characters in it, and there's a lot of perfect levels and bosses in the game, and it is a timeless classic of 2010. Next up is Kirby's Return to Dreamland. This game is by far the best Kirby game, and my favorite of the entire series, even though that's subject to change with Kirby and the Forgotten Land coming out, which I'm very excited for. Anyway, though, Kirby's Return to Dreamland is a really great Kirby game, and it's perfect return to Dreamland. It was also the first home console Kirby game since Kirby 64, and in this game, by far the best gameplay gimmicks of the series, and the 4-player multiplayer was really cool, and Kirby has some really amazing abilities in this game. Yeah, Kirby's Return to Dreamland, or Kirby's Adventure Wii, which is what it's called in Europe, is a masterpiece that you need to play. And Magolor is by far one of the best Kirby villains. And this game has some amazing level design and perfect characters. This game is easily the best Kirby game, well, until Forgotten Land, that is, and I highly recommend this one. And the game even recently reached its 10th anniversary, fun fact. Alright, so the last game we're talking about in this video is Xenoblade Chronicles. Now this game now has a remake on the Nintendo Switch, so go play that version, don't play the original game. I don't recommend playing the original game, play the remake, which is the definitive edition on the Switch. Anyway though, Xenoblade Chronicles is a masterpiece, and it's one of my favorite games of all time. This game had really amazing gameplay, and it's definitely the perfect sci-fi open-world RPG. And it has by far one of my favorite stories in a video game. Also, fun fact: this game was originally going to be a Japan-only game, but due to a petition called Operation Rainfall, which was also used on Pandora's Tower in the last story, this game got localized late in the Wii's lifetime. It released in 2010 in Japan, 2011 for Europe and Australia, and 2012 for North America. Yeah, it was a late release on the Wii, especially in the West, but it is a masterpiece of a game with amazing story and gameplay gimmicks and everything, and a really amazing world. And it's by far one of my favorite worlds in a video game. Now, like I said, do not play the Wii version. I don't recommend playing the Wii version. Play the Switch version, because it is way better, and it's massively overhauled compared to the original. But the Xenoblade Chronicles anyway is a masterpiece of a game that I just absolutely love. Alright, so that is the end of this video. I had fun making this video, as the Wii had a huge impact on my life, and in fact, if it wasn't for the Wii, I wouldn't even be doing YouTube at all. The Wii is a really good console with good games, good controllers, good console, good features, good everything. I mean, it's a pretty good console. But I do think the Xbox 360 and the PS3 are the better consoles because they're HD. The Wii is still a really good console that holds up today, and it was a massive success for Nintendo, and one of the greatest it's one of the most popular game consoles of all time. And it's honestly a shame that Nintendo's next console, the Wii U, flopped commercially. But if you want to hear my thoughts on the Wii U and why it failed, come back next year. But yeah, the last thing I'm going to talk about is why the console is called the Wii. So the console is called the Wii because it focuses on Wii playing together, since the console focused heavily on all ages and gamers and non-gamers playing, and especially playing together. The Wii had a lot of that. The Wii had some pretty good games that and multiple kinds of games that would appeal to both gamers and non-gamers alike. So yeah, that's it for this video, and I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time. Agent S out.